Good evening. Tonight I can reveal that Prime Minister Keir Starmer has learnt nothing from the freebie scandal that rocked the early days of his premiership. In September it was revealed that Sir Keir received more than £107,000 in freebies, more than any other MP. These included things like suits and designer glasses. He also received around £4,000 worth of Taylor Swift tickets. And there was the small issue of Lord Ali's £18 million Covent Garden penthouse. It's revealed that the Prime Minister spent roughly 45 nights at Lord Ali's penthouse. He was also accused of using that penthouse to record COVID lockdown videos, urging the rest of us to stay at our own homes.
The new variant Omicron is spreading fast, and the argument that we don't know enough about it doesn't stack up. We may not be certain how dangerous it is, but we do know that lives are at risk. At times like this, we must all put the national interest.
There you go. He claimed he needed some time at Lord Ali's pad so his son could study for his GCSEs. Unfortunately for the Prime Minister, Guido Fawkes did some digging, and it appears that Starmer's son's exams started the week before they moved in and finished about a month before they moved out. The Prime Minister has also had to weather the voice coach scandal. So he was accused of breaking lockdown rules by having an in-person voice coaching session, despite the fact that Leonie Mellinger, the aforementioned voice coach, was doing Zoom meetings around that time. The police took no action as it fell outside the 3-year window for potential prosecutions. Since all of this, the Prime Minister has been keen to tell us all that the economy is in bad shape and we all need to cut our cloth.
Things are worse than we ever imagined. Frankly, things will get worse before they get better.
Oh, yeah. What's he done? Well, he's taken the winter fuel payment off pensioners, clobbered farmers with a death tax, slammed businesses with a load more tax, taxed private schools into closure, cut people's benefits. Last week, every single household bill went up, despite the promise of no energy price hikes for hard-working Brits. Keir Starmer claims to be of the working class and for the working class. Many people have pointed out that this particular multimillionaire North London lawyer appears to have a penchant for the finer things in life, and it's not immediately obvious how much interaction he has or has ever had with the working class that he claims to care so much about. Well, tonight, I can reveal this. In the last year, Prime Minister Keir Starmer has bagged more free tickets to sports events than any other MP. He's received nearly £20,000 worth of free sports tickets in the last 12 months. Many of these, reportedly, are for the use of the director's box at Arsenal, as well as matches against Brighton, Spurs, Manchester United, Wolves, Man City and Norwich. In second place in the sports category is the backbench Labour MP for Bury North, James Frith, who's registered tickets worth £14,054 since he was elected in July, apparently. You might remember that name, James Frith, because he was one of several MPs who put his name to a letter demanding the construction of a new international airport in Mirpur, Pakistan. I wonder how the hard-working people of Bury North feel about their MP taking just shy of 15 grand's worth of freebies and campaigning for a Pakistani airport as their bills go up and their benefits are cut. The top 20 worst offending MPs for taking freebies to go to sporting events is listed here. Now, it includes 10 Labour MPs, 8 Conservatives, 1 Liberal Democrat and 1 Reform UK MP. And yes, that is Nigel Farage, who has claimed £2,000 worth of free tickets. The problem for the Prime Minister is a perceived lack of authenticity. He likes to give the impression that he's working class, despite not being able to define it.
Describe yourself as working class. Sir Keir, define working class.
No, working class is families that work for their living, earn their money through going out to work every day, not through other
not
means.
Middle classes do that?
Well,
he says certain things without necessarily revealing the whole truth.
This is a big game. I'll be in there this afternoon, a season ticket holder with my son, cheering us on. But we have got to win this one. Really big game for us.
Well, he might be in there with his son as season ticket holders, cheering people on, but it'll probably be from the luxury director's box, won't it? The argument is that he needs this for security, and perhaps that's true, because the Labour leader might be so badly hated by the British public that they give him a piece of their mind whenever they see him. Here he was, I think this was at Doncaster races. And here he was, just at a pub.
That man is not allowed in my pub. Get out of my pub. Go on. Get out of my pub.
Look, at the end of the day, it's for you, the British taxpayers and voters, to make your own minds up about whether or not this multi-millionaire, luxury penthouse dwelling, designer suit and glasses wearing, voice coach using, Arsenal Football Club director's box and Taylor Swift enthusiast is really the socialist working class hero he may like you to believe he is. It's interesting because millionaires are fleeing Britain, but the one in Downing Street appears to be living it up. Let's get the thoughts of my panel this evening. We've got Daily Express columnist Carol Malone. We've also got former Labour Party advisor Matthew Larzer and the former chairman of the Tory Party, Sir Jake Berry. Well, the revelation tonight, Carol, is it looks like Keir Starmer's still at it, really. 20 grand's worth of sporting freebies in the last year, more than any other MP.
It is unbelievable. And, you know, you make the distinction here. That is just for his sporting freebies. The figure, there was a figure, I think you quoted it before. Since 2019, he's had 100 grand's worth of free gifts and freebies. He tops the list of liggers of everyone. But, you know, it is incredible how they knew what the last freebiegate did to their popularity. It tanked. And it's like they just don't give a stuff. They got their snouts in the trough as soon as they could, and they won't take them out. And, you know, the thing is, the average wage in this country is 37.5 grand a year. The average MP, the MPs are about 91.5 grand. And if you're a minister and a prime minister, you get another salary on top of that. You don't need to take freebies. You need to be setting some kind of example. And I think it's why no MP should have a freebie, because what they all say is this is allowed, it's within the rules. Well, it shouldn't be within the rules, because if you give somebody something free, you have an ulterior motive. You might not want to get paid back for it then, today, tomorrow, next week, but there is a favour. And the perception is these people are in it for the money and the stuff they get and not in it to represent the consumer.
Matthew, it's impossible for Keir Starmer to claim that he is, which, by the way, I don't think he's working class, but he likes to bang on about it. He's working class and he's for the working...
Son of a toolmaker.
He's for the working... Yeah, but did he own the factory?
Yes.
Anyway, it's for the working class man and woman. No working class man and woman in Britain has taken... What would that make it? Roughly speaking, 120 grand's worth of free stuff in the last couple of years or few years? No one's done that, apart from him.
I mean, look, I think that, you know, discretion is the better part of valour, and certainly, you know, as we've discussed on this sofa, I think that Rachel Reeves taking the recent tickets up post the scandal was unwise. If you go down the list, quite a few of them are MPs who have major sporting venues in their constituents. So one who's right down at near the bottom is Andrew Weston, who's basically the MP for Old Trafford. He's taken 2 grand's worth, and so he's effectively going to talk to one of the largest businesses in his constituency and have conversations with them. It's all declared. I think every MP needs to think about, does it pass the smell test? That, you know, I'm not sure that a backbencher needs a £4,000 trip to the Olympics. However, if you have a major sporting venue in your constituency, and you're declaring it, is it sensible to go and support it?
You could pay for it yourself, though, couldn't you? And this is Jake. You know, something I'll put to you here, really, which is that Keir Starmer's not short of a few quid. He's already got a season ticket at Arsenal, as it appears his son does as well, and he enjoys going to games with his son. You know, and fair enough, he's got a busy schedule, and, well, at least it looks like he has got a busy schedule anyway, but why can't he pay for those directors' boxes himself? He's got a lot of money in the bank. Why can't he just pay for it? Then that way, it doesn't look like he's grifting.
Patrick, of course he could do, and any reasonable person would look at this and say, we expect him, you know, given his £160,000 salary a year, we expect him to pay for these sort of things. And also, why can't he sit in the stands? I mean, Prince William sits in the stands, the heir to the throne. Rishi Sunak was pictured in the stands when he was Prime Minister. This idea that Keir Starmer he can't sit with normal people because they might have a bit of a pop at him about destroying our country, it's for the birds. And what I think really sticks in the craw of voters and viewers here at GB News Look, if you get caught doing something first time round, and it's undeniable that he got a real beasting about all the free suits, the free tickets, the Taylor Swift, learn your lesson. Listen to the British public. He hasn't. He's straight back at it, which only says one thing. He either just doesn't care what you think watching at home, which I personally think is the most likely. So I've got a massive majority. I'm Prime Minister. I don't care what you, the workers, think who put me here. Or alternatively, he just is very, very tin-eared on this issue, and both of them are absolutely wrong.
You're itching to get in, Matthew.
Just because, I mean, I think you've got to remember your mate Boris Johnson had his wedding paid for by the JCB guy.
Number one.
Yeah, but the
he wasn't
thing is,
Prime
Matthew,
Minister at the time, and number two,
he was Prime Minister when he got married, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't Prime Minister at the time.
Because he just
and
we had Dalesford Organics bags delivered to the end of Downing Street. We all saw the pictures.
But Matthew, the Labour,
most people can get onto Asda.com, can't they?
The Labour Party are high on their own morality. They've spent years
high on their own supply.
They've spent years being praised by other people for no other reason than they're not Tories. And I think the joke of this is they think they deserve these entitlements. And it just shows the sense of entitlement they have, that they can look at other people struggling in this country and behave like pigs with their snouts in the trough, taking every free thing on offer. And the bottom line is, it's looking like that they are being bought. That's what it looks like. But whether that's true or not, the perception is that... And look at Lord Ali. Look at Lord Ali, the biggest donor that they have. Yeah. Look at Starmer living in his 18 million quid apartment. Look at the clothes he took, the glasses he took, all the free trips.
Look, if I'd been in Downing Street, I would have been, shouting at him to not take any more, to stop it.
But he won't stop.
But he won't stop it. That's the thing. They don't care.
Why won't he stop? He's been caught, and for every working family in this country who's opening their gas bill, their council tax bill, their electricity bill, feeling their finances being squeezed, it is a disgrace that we have a Prime Minister who's put there by the people who just says, do you know what? I don't care. I like football. I'm going to keep taking the free tickets. It's disgusting.
Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves are slated to come after a lot more tax in the next budget. Yeah. If we look at what we think roughly the Prime Minister has taken in freebies over the last year or so, if you or I earned that, we'd be paying 45% tax on it probably.
Why can't they tax it as a benefit in kind with his freebies?
But this is the point. So when he talks about, I'm in touch with the working man and woman, the common man
really
and woman,
not.
I stand up for. No. Just in the amount of freebies alone that he's taken, if that was your salary, you'd probably be paying 45% tax on that. I do put it to you, Matthew, that Keir Starmer, is going to have a massive job on his hands winning again some of those areas of the Red Wall that maybe will go reform, maybe they'll go whatever way, I don't know. But how on earth does he expect the people of Middlesbrough or Barnsley or any of these places to resonate with him when he's in the director's box at Arsenal with his son, wearing one of Lord Ali's suits? I've just been to a Taylor Swift concert the night before.
Look, I think it's very hard for him to do that, and I think he needs to understand the political messaging here, and also the moral case for it as well. I think, as Carol was saying, maybe there's a case for the whole of Parliament looking at the rules, but particularly if I was the Prime Minister, I wouldn't be doing this.
But no MP should get a freebie. Just because of the job they do doesn't mean they should get free stuff. And that's what the British people are looking at. Why are you getting free stuff?
People in corporate life get free stuff.
But he's not in corporate life. He's the Prime Minister of this country, and he has to be seen to be whiter than white. And I think the bottom line is they don't care. They've waited so long to get into power. They've waited so long for the free stuff that they literally can't help themselves.
Constituencies. Is it King's Cross and Holborn?
It's Holborn. It's a Pancras. It includes King's Cross.
So I was there at the weekend, right? And it's empty. And the reason why it's empty is because basically in the week you get a load of lawyers, isn't it? It's ironically, it's a big area for the legal community, big area for people who work in finance, etc., who bust themselves in. And then at the weekend, it's empty. It's completely empty. And I looked at that and I thought, if he thinks that where he represents is in any way representative of the wider country, then he's in massive trouble. It's a really bizarre part of the world, King's Cross, St Pancras and Holborn, where it's a totally fake
Well, and you've got lots of tourists that get in Camden Market as well, which is not typical of the country. Look, I know what you mean, but you can't have a cabinet that's all the people from central London, but you've got people from all across the country, including the North East. There's a lot of people from the North East in the cabinet.
You don't buy the fact that he needs because his argument will be he's got a right to a family life and he needs this for his security.
Well, as I say, Prince William sits in the stands. He's the heir to the throne. He's a much higher
Doesn't he
security.
pay for his tickets?
Well, but he sits in the stands. Keir Starmer's whole argument, apparently he's already paid for his ticket, he pays for his season ticket. His whole argument is to keep me safe, I need to sit in the director's box. Well, if that's true, pay for it. And secondly, I don't believe it's true anyway. If the heir to the throne can sit in the stands, Rishi Sunak sat in the stands as Prime Minister. We've seen leading politicians and people from the media sat in the stands at major sporting events.
Yeah.
I'd just rather think
would argue-
he likes the director's box. He doesn't want to give it up. Doesn't matter what you at home think.
Yeah.
He's going to keep
It's
doing
a
it,
damning
whatever you
indictment
say.
of maybe, perhaps what he thinks of Arsenal fans as well. I mean, if they're on the same team, quite literally, and they both support the same team, and they're there to watch a football match, does he really think that Arsenal fans would attack him? I find that hard to believe. But anyway, a spokesperson for the Prime Minister said this. The Prime Minister has strengthened the ministerial code to include principles on accepting gifts and hospitality, publishing data on a monthly basis, enshrining the 7 principles of public life into the code and strengthening the power of the independent advisor, and highlighted that in October 2024, the Prime Minister reportedly paid back £6,000 worth of gifts, including Taylor Swift tickets, which I did mention earlier on. So
What about the other-
a thorough right of reply from the Prime Minister.
And if he's
there.
done nothing...
Okay,
What about the-
all right.